Hi, I'm Tyson,
I'm Colin.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Adam.
and we're the Gamesmiths, and we're here to learn how to play house rules.
All right. House rules. The objective. All players in house rules are embroiled in a brawl where everyone is for themselves. Armed with weapons of all shapes and sizes, the goal of each player is to raise the defenses of your rivals and amass the biggest stash of weapons after 3 rounds of combat. Be wary, though. The rules of engagement for each combat round are never the same. At the beginning of each round, each player chooses between 2 rule cards and secretly selects one of them. Before combat begins, reveal all chosen rules and combine them together for the round. The most cunning of combatants can even create and write down rules of their own. Use the rules to your advantage to amass the biggest stash. The player with the biggest stash at the end of the game is the winner. So, we have weapon cards, rule cards, special actions, and house rules. So, the weapons and special actions are all in one of these. This is actually just supposed to be one huge deck, but we're going to split it for convenience sake. So, and they contain a combination of weapon cards and special actions. So some of the weapon cards have what they are written on them, and some have some blanks where you can fill in to write in your own thing. So here we have this 3-power weapon of harsh words, and then we have a flesh-eating blank there, which Adam has filled in with flesh-eating sandpaper. Well done.
Thank you.
Sounds terrible.
And this one's just blank, so imagination goes wild. So you can just put regular sandpaper there if you like. So we'll be drawing these throughout the game, and like I said, most of the time you're going to get one of the 117 weapons, but there are also 18 special action cards mixed in there to kind of zazz things up. Oh, flat Diet Coke, frowny face.
Ugh.
Nobody likes that.
Yeah, it's deadly.
Way
That's
more,
why it's a 9.
way more devastating than flesh-eating sandpaper. Weapons, special actions, which we'll go over. There are 6 different special actions: misfire, combo, double, cheap shot, nuke, and break the game. These play these cards to get an edge when you need the most. So then we have 36 rule cards here. And these are these red ones that say things like hot swap. At the beginning of your turn, you may give another player a card from your hand and choose one randomly from theirs. So that just changes that rule for this round. And so you'll get to play those each round. And then finally, on the back of your little cheat sheet here is the house rules card. So you can flip this over and write basically any rule that you want on here. So the big thing about the house rules, let me see here, is that they cannot they cannot affect one player's score or affect how points are scored. So you can't say, whatever, the rule can't be Colin loses 5 points.
Or all of his points,
Right.
for that matter.
Or the rule can't be that like odd numbered cards score double points. So you can't affect that. Keeping in mind the kind of rules that are going on here, or you can just kind of make up whatever you want. Everybody has to play cards randomly, or everybody has to, attack who's next to them, or so it can change how people play, but it can't change how this game scores. We'll get to that in a second. So for each round, and you can follow along on the back of your card here, everyone is going to get 5 of these cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So everyone just go ahead and draw 5 real quick off there.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness.
And 2 rule cards.
Oops. See, you're right. These flip over. Minus 1, 2, 3.
So what you're going to do, the first thing that everybody does is they're going to pick one of these rule cards. So you have 2, pick them, add 2 to your attack if you clash with someone else. If you clash with someone, and then you can pick older or younger than you. Or I have Hold'em here. When this rule is revealed, draw cards equal to the number of players, place them face up. These cards are public and can be used by any player. So just kind of pick whichever rule you want to use, discard the other one.
And then you do
Adam,
what?
can I take the marker, please?
Wait,
Yes.
which one's the discard one? The one out here?
That's the discard one out there, yeah. So everybody just throw that one out to discard. And then everybody places the one that they want to do just kind of in the table, yeah, in the middle of the table here. And then reveal them in a line one at a time until there are 3 rules face. Oh, shuffle the rule cards. So we shuffle them and reveal them in one at a time until there are 3 face up. If any of the players' proposed house rules, do those first. So if someone has decided to put their house rule card in, that would automatically be the first card that we reveal and discuss. And then for house rules, one other person has to agree to it. So it has to be, at least mildly fair enough that one other person at the table will sign off on it. So the first one here, age before beauty. So add 2 to your attack if you clash with someone younger than you.
I hate that one.
Turn it up to 11 during a clash if the attack and defense values equal 11 exactly. The attack succeeds automatically. And number 3 is tiebreaker. If the attack and defense are equal during a clash, players not involved in the clash must decide which weapon wins based on the weapon's description.
I like that.
So,
It's rude. And
The-
so the last one's just out?
yep. So these are the 3 that we're playing with this round. And then what would happen is everybody then secretly chooses a weapon to play as their defense. So just pick a card and put it down. Just and put it face down. And then everybody at the same time will reveal them. And actually, I'm sorry. The defense cards, I messed that up a little bit. The defense cards, I know already. The defense cards should actually be put down before we reveal the rule cards. So the first thing we'll do is choose what
Oh,
we're
these
doing
are
for
our
defense.
defenses?
Yes.
Okay.
And then we'll reveal the rules. So
Can
you don't
not,
get to.
Can you not play cards out of your hand?
You can. We'll get there in a sec. So this, so first thing is everybody gets their cards. Second thing is we all put rules in the middle. Third thing is we all put our defense cards face down. And then fourth thing is we turn up the first 3 rules to figure out what our rule cards are going to be. Then everybody reveals their defense cards by turning them face up. So then everybody just flip over the cards you laid face down on the table. You get a 10, a 4, a 7, and a 9. So
Yeah, I got it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wild.
I just have a blank that I did not fill in. So
dare you.
because I was trying to explain the rules. Thank you.
The fun police is taking care of that.
So the player with the lowest defense in play takes the first turn. The same player may not take 2 turns in a row unless they're the only player with cards remaining in their hand. If 2 or more players are tied to take a turn, these players go mad, mutually assured destruction. Any tied players put their defenses into their own stash and plays a new weapon from their hand face up as defense. Play proceeds to the next player. So, first thing that'll happen, so,
You're the lowest.
yeah, I'm going to steal this and trade it with that.
Okay. Oh, what?
Just to make it, just for example's sake.
Oh, that's not a rule.
No, it's not a rule. So, yeah, okay, yeah, if you've got that, great. So then it's my turn, so I'll go first, and I will attack, somebody. So what I'll do is I will choose a weapon from my hand and attack a defense card belonging to another player. If mine's higher, then I win and I take both things. So I'll clash with Adam and I'll play my 9 against his 7. And if anybody, the other thing that I can do, so if I win here and there's a possibility that people can mess with it with some of their action cards, and we'll go over that in a little bit. But assuming that this ends this way and I win, I would take both of these cards and put them into my stash, which basically is just my points. Each card is worth 1 point. It doesn't matter what their number value is. So by winning this, I just scored 2 points.
And it was +2 attack.
Right, and it was +2 because Adam's younger than I am. So now we'll play. So now I would have just scored these 2 points, and now Adam would play a defense card to replace it and play that other 7 face up. So now he replaces that. So then turns would go next, and since I went already, I can't go twice in a row. So that means the next lowest defense goes. And Tyson and Adam are both tied at 7. So that means they go mad, mutually assured destruction. They both put these into their stash. So they both just
that's
scored
new.
1 point. And now you guys both have an opportunity to play a new defense card. And then however play proceeds to the next player.
So it's still be my turn.
No.
No, it's whoever's
Because
next.
these guys have, so now they flip
Oh,
over. It
okay.
can't be my turn.
So now it would go to Tyson.
No, it goes.
Adam has 4,
Oh,
so it goes to
yes,
him. It
okay.
can't be my turn because I
Can we
already
go
went.
mad together?
No, I already went. So I'm disqualified.
Yeah, what if it happens again?
Yes.
If those two had both put down 4 again, then they'd both
Score him again and
score
it
them
happens
again, and then they'd go
Okay.
again, and if they matched each other again, it's 5 and 8. Okay, so now Tyson's the lowest, and it's his turn to go. So Tyson, you can either attack somebody or you can just pass. If you pass, you cannot take a turn until after the next clash, meaning somebody else has to fight before you can go again.
So in the instance, so if I attack, so I'll say I do a cardboard stand-up of Melania Trump.
There you go.
That takes this rule into it says during a clash if attack and defense values add up to 11.
Right, so if you use this on Colin,
Right.
because you're 9 and 2, so that's
Sorry, that's
11.
not- yeah. Okay.
So the
it-
attack would succeed automatically.
But if they somehow were balanced out, if these two rules, so what if I got 11
So if
We
and they were tied?
we have
which
to
one
argue
does it?
that out,
Okay.
basically.
well,
so,
and
if rules
Ryan
clash-
did that to Colin, Colin's younger, so he would get +2.
But
What's the
Tyson's-
order of rules?
Yeah. So no, that
Oh,
would
he's
they would
younger
both
than I
happen.
am.
But Tyson's younger than Colin, so Tyson doing it to Colin. If it were me, that would not equal. That would equal 13. But basically, we have to discuss this. Like the rules are, because there could be any combination of stuff down here. So we have to deal with it on a 1-by-1 basis.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Cool.
What if these 2 cards are gone and it's 2 different ones? So, yeah. So, so basically, the round goes until all players have passed or all players have no more cards in their hand. You place any weapons remaining in your
I have
hand
to say that.
and defense. So let's say you win that one, Tyson, or whatever.
I take one of the cards. And
Right, and then those both go in your
Both of
stash.
them.
You win the thing, so now you get those 4, and then Colin would play another. Colin would play another defense, and then since Colin played a 4, now it could possibly be mine, whatever.
So
but
now
let's
you
say
go
for
mad
whatever reason,
together.
but Colin play something different, play something higher, and let's just say for whatever reason, okay, so Colin plays a 10, and we just go the whole thing, and nobody ever bothers to attack Colin because he's
Yeah.
got a 10. So at the end of the turn, when the round is finished, so basically you use all your cards on me, I use all my cards on Adam, Adam uses all his cards on you, we're all out of cards, we've all passed, Colin's sitting there with a full grip. He can either start attacking us or he can just pass. And if he passes, when everybody's passed or no one has any cards, he would take all of the cards remaining in his hand and his remaining defense and put them right into his stash. So he would score all of those points.
So it's like a shoot the moon. Kind
Yeah,
of
so if you don't get attack, you can still score a
Even
bunch
if they're
of
not
points.
number cards?
No, only the weapons.
Okay.
Place any weapons remaining in your hand and
Okay.
defenses in your stash. And then all players will count how many weapons they collected in their stash. Each is worth 1 point. You'll write your score on your little thing right here. so everybody knows where you're at, scoreboard wise.
That's cool.
And then you will discard all cards in your stash, your hand, and rules in play, and start the new round from the preparation step.
The
So
prep step, as we like to call it here.
it is, and that's when we start drawing cards again, and yada yada yada. At the end of the third round, add up the scores from each round. The player with the most points is the winner. Take a victory lap. If there is a tie, the first person to complete a victory lap is the winner.
Also, we got to unmic and take a victory lap.
Yeah, apparently Duck Duck Goose rules apply in the case of a tie.
Okay.
So combat, we talked about that. We'll go in a little bit more. On your turn, choose one weapon card from your hand and attack a defending card belonging to another player. In a clash, you can't attack yourself. That would be silly. During a clash, compare the total value of the attack and defense. If the total value of the attack is equal to or greater than the defense, the attack succeeds. The attacker collects any attack or defense weapons involved in the clash and adds them to their stash. If the total value of the attack is less than the defense value, the defense succeeds. The defense card remains in play, and the defense collects any other weapons involved in the clash in their stash. Players have an opportunity to play special action cards in order to strengthen their attack or defenses. Any player may use special action cards during a clash to influence who wins. After the dust of a clash settles, place the weapons you have earned in your stash located underneath your player guide. Score these cards at the end of the round. Each weapon in your stash is worth 1 point. If another player took your defense during a clash, place a weapon from your hand face down as a new defense. Tip: when choosing a new weapon, look at the defense values of other players. You might get to take the next turn if you play low enough. Note: when attacking with a weapon, it is best to read the description aloud for maximum effect. This will confuse and distract your opponents. Use the erasable marker to tailor the blank and incomplete weapons to put your own personal touch on your arsenal. You can write on your weapons whenever you want to, but once they are in play, you're stuck with them. The rule cards, changing the game. So place the rules in a line where all players can see them. Rules of the highest authority and take priority over these instructions. Players must follow them at all times. If a rule is broken with a break the game card, you resolve it immediately, and we'll get to what that does, but it discards a rule. Resolve it immediately before playing any more cards or taking other turns. And if there is a rule conflict, the first played rule takes priority. If there's still a conflict, just ask your crazy Uncle Ivan to settle it. Special actions, getting an edge. So there are 6 special action cards in the deck. There is Misfire. You play during any clash and return an attack weapon to their owner's hand. There's Combo. Draw a card and then combine a weapon with your hand with any attack or defense, and that you can play during any clash. Nuke, play during any clash, blow up any clash, discard all attack and defense weapons in that clash.
And draw a card.
And draw a card, yeah, sorry. Double, play during any clash, double the value of one attack or defense weapon card. Break the game, play at any time, discard any rule. And Cheap Shot, play after any clash ends. Draw a card and then clash with the attacker using a weapon from your hand at 2 times value. So Tyson attacks Adam, and however that ends, Adam wins or Tyson wins and whatever, then I could go Cheap Shot and then play a 4 out of my hand and get it doubled to 8 and kill Tyson with it. And it just kind of lets me take a quick turn, and then I just take these 2 and stash them. And the stash is under your guide here. You can even see the bottom. It says stash.
The house is an arrow. That's clever.
It is. An upside down house is just an arrow pointing to Satan.
That's how that works.
I don't know. There may be times when multiple players use special actions at the same time during a clash. When this recurs, resolve them the last in, first out manner, resolving the last played action first and working backwards. The exception to this is break the game, which resolves immediately before anybody else can take any other actions. And then there's finally the house rule cards, which we already discussed. Players are encouraged to create rules of their own. Do it by using the erasable marker and the house rule card. So you just write onto it. The only limitation is they may not affect the score of any player or how points are scored. And players propose house rules during the preparation instead of selecting one of these red ones. When it is revealed, it requires approval from at least one other player before it goes into effect, like I said earlier. If it fails to get a support, erase and discard it. Each player can only propose one rule per game, so make it count. Some tips. Good rules are simple, clear, and clearly written. Easily understood rules have the best chance of approval. Great rules have consequences for those who fail to follow them. Excuse me. And when creating a rule, write them for your audience. A little politicking goes a long way to getting your rule voted into the game. So that's that. Any questions?
So outside of the special cards, there's no defending. You're everyone knows what you're at. They just attack you and it's over. There's no
That's correct.
boosting yourself. Just these special cards.
That's correct.
Okay.
Any
Yep.
other questions?
No, I think I
Good.
got it.
Good. All right. Cool. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the game.